This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar, ECW original, and co-star of the London Film Critics' Best Picture winner, the wrestler, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie! What's on your mind?
Oh, man. Good morning, sir.
To you, and a pleasant Baba Booey to you.
A pleasant Baba Booey to you as well. As we record this St. Patrick's Day morning.
Yes, sir.
March. I almost said November for some reason. March 15th. Oh, man. Did a little bit of celebrating last night at the Cuskers.
How was it?
Had a good time. You know, a bunch of the folks came out and hung out, and people were like, "Oh, we don't hang out anymore." It's like, you know where I'm at, you know. So come to McCuskers. But yeah, had a great night. You know, made sure I was up. Plenty early this morning. You know, some of my friends call me what do they call a Spartan, because I could go to bed at like 3 a.m., get up at like 9 a.m., just roll out of bed and do a podcast, and then, you know, go about my day. But happy St. Patrick's Day to those who celebrate. Of course, this drops Monday, but if you're watching live on the Patreon, you're with us live. So happy St. Patrick's Day. My friend. I have a lot of memories of St. Patrick's Day going back to being a kid, you know, being Irish, and my grandmom's parents being from Ireland. She was like hardcore St. Patrick's Day. You know, I think I got some of my partying from my grandma, you know, so good memories. Some rough memories about St. Patrick's Day too, but overall pretty good.
Yeah, good, man. Good. I'm good, man. I'm doing well. It's a nice day out here. I just went to the gym earlier, got some steps in. Still in my gym attire here. It was nice. I'm good right now, man. It's a good morning here in Downingtown for the most part. So looking forward to another great show with you here. Got our pod squad in the chat here. Greetings and salutations to the professor. Mass Sanity is here. And happy 316 day as you're listening. It is 316 day, so I hope you left out beer for Stone Cold Steve Austin. So make sure you don't catch a stunner on your way to work. So great to see you, bud. Jesse Brown's here. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Pod Squad, and good morning to you. Mass Sanity says the Austin 316 promo turns 30 years old this year. I guess we could start there, man. Who could have predicted that promo would have changed the business? It's crazy when you think about it, because, like, I don't even know if they knew at that moment that it was going to change the business. I think he just like said it, from what I've heard, right? And maybe you know better than I do, Meanie. He just like said it, and then it became like, it just like snowballed on itself, and they didn't realize it was going to be that way when it happened, right?
We'll talk about like happy accidents. You know, this was at the King of the Ring 30 years ago, and in one of the earlier rounds, Steve Austin was wrestling Mark Marrow. Mark Marrow went to do this pin attempt where, you know, you're behind your opponent, you jump up, your feet land in your opponent's like armpits, you fall backwards and pull them with you into almost like a backslide type thing. Well, when Mark Marrow jumped up to, you know, kick his feet under Steve's armpits, Steve's face was down and he caught a boot right to the mouth.
Ooh.
And it busted him wide open. And then, you know, he had to go get stitches. So they run him to the hospital, which blows my mind that he went off campus to go get stitches and came back. You know, he came back. He asked, you know, Michael Hayes met him at the car or the ambulance or whatever brought him back. He said, "What have I missed? What's going on?" Michael Hayes gives him you know, the Cliff Notes. Well, Jake just went out there, cut a religious promo, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, Steve said, you know, the whole, you know, the promo came to him like in a matter of like a minute or so, because when me and Steve he might be slightly older than me, but when we were kids, you could watch any football game. There'd be a guy in a clown wig holding a sign saying John 3:16.
Mm.
And this was like a big fad back in the day,
Yeah.
late 70s, early 80s. I don't even know who they should do a documentary about who that guy was who held up the John 3:16. Unless there already is like a 30 for 30 on that. That'd be awesome.
There might be, yeah. I'm sure we could find it.
So Steve, thought back to religious things, and he thought back to, those days of, seeing the John 3:16 gimmick signs at football games, and he's like, boom, Austin 3:16. Just said I whipped your ass. And he went out there, he beat Steve Austin, won the King of the Ring. Went up, talked to Michael Hayes, greeted him.
Do
At the throne. Michael Hayes, proud Philadelphian. A lot of people don't know from Philly. So.
Sure is. Go Birds, dickhead.
Yeah. Go Birds. Do.
Go Birds. Hold on. I feel like I gotta do this right now. Hold on.
I know.
Fucking game day. Go Birds.
We need a good like Go Birds, dickhead. Maybe Angel will do that for me. I'll ask him. I'll see if he can give me a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I know somebody could probably do one too. So but excuse me. So, he wants the King of the Ring, goes to go up to the throne area where Michael Hayes greets him and cuts the promo and says, talk about your Bibles, talk about the Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. And he hit that whipped your ass with like a ferocity, if that's a word.
It is.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
And that was the spark that ignited so much, because we were like in the larval stages of the Attitude Era, and WWE was looking for their next big breakout star, and Steve, came in as the ringmaster, and tried to find his way, and then he started, finding his way with the Stone Cold Steve Austin character, which he based off, he initially based it off of a guy named Richard Kuklinski, who was a hitman for the mob. HBO did 2 documentaries on the guy, or 2 interview sessions with the guy, called the Iceman Sessions, and it should be on like HBO Max or something, but I was like, he would just talk a matter of factly of how he killed people, and just did it with like a smile, like, yeah, I took this guy out in the woods and kind of thing, and based Stone Cold off that. So, but that promo, Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass, and the oomph he put behind it, it's like one of those things. They thought it was just going to be like a one night thing, and I think there might have been a little kerfuffle backstage because he said ass,
right?
He brought up religion, which some could backfire. Talk about religion and politics, you run the risk of cutting off half your fan base. So bringing up religion could have bit him in the ass, but he spun it into Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass. And it wasn't until the next night at TV at Raw, I think it was at Raw, and people just brought out Austin 3:16 signs, and they're like, I think we got something here.
Yeah.
So like I said, a happy accident. Imagine if Mark Merrow hadn't accidentally kicked Steve in the mouth, and Steve had to go get stitches. Steve came back, asked Michael Hayes, what did he talk about? He talked about, he said a Bible psalm and all this stuff, and Steve had his answer right there. Who knows what would happen,
Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy thoughts. I got a question for you here in a second because I want to game it out with you a little bit here. But Mass Sanity says a few days before King of the Ring 96 on AOL, I asked Mark Marrow if it would be him and Vader in the final match of the tournament. He said, nope, it'll be Jake and Steve. Yep, he spoiled it for me, which is just the most random tidbit of information I've ever read in my life. Like, that's just like, I can't imagine. Like, sometimes when I talk to Mass Sanity, he'll just drop these tidbits on me, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy that people just offer this information up like that. That's just nuts to me.
And the funny thing is, Matt Sanity probably has the receipts. He probably has the chat logs.
Oh, for sure. I absolutely believe that for like 100%. Like, in my mind, I'm like, that's just nuts that somebody would just like offer that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really cool though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know, not to get off on the Austin 316 thing, but 316, if you're a music fan, or well, more specifically a Van Halen fan, Eddie Van Halen, there's what album was it? I think Van Halen put out the album for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and there's like a small little like guitar piece on there, and Eddie plays it, of course, and it's called 316, and the reason why it's called 316 is that is Wolfgang Van Halen's birthday. So this little guitar piece that Eddie plays, he's on the 5150 tour. If you watch the Eruption solo, he starts off his guitar solo with it, and it's a pretty cool little instrumental. But when Valerie Bertinelli was pregnant with Wolfie, Eddie would rest his acoustic guitar on her stomach and play this little piece of music for him, and like Wolfie would kind of start kicking in the womb kind of thing. So, as a wrestling fan and as a lover of Van Halen, 316 has a dual purpose for me. So yeah, Steve Austin, and it's also a Van Halen reference. So, so it's pretty cool. I love Van Halen, and they had the album 5150, which was police code for an escaped mental patient. But then, some wrestlers started incorporating that into their deal. Like Bubba Ray Dudley has the 5150 shirt or whatever. It's pretty cool, like how some of my favorite Van Halen things have bled over to the wrestling as well. Have dual meanings. But yeah, Austin 316, man. Where will we be I'm
dude.
That famous promo, I'm sure Steve would have done something, but just talk about an epic moment in pro wrestling history.
I genuinely don't know and I know it sounds like hyperbolic or whatever, but like, I really don't know if wrestling would have become what it has without that promo, right? Because it changed the complete trajectory. And also too, like, even without the curtain call, right? Like, without the curtain call happening, Triple H wins the King of the Ring that year, and Austin never gets his shine. So it's like
another happy accident,
right? So, he gets punished because all that happens, and that's well documented. But then Austin never becomes King of the Ring, and then you never have this 1A, 1B dance with The Rock. WCW might not go out of business, like, does the NWO become as big as it does even without the curtain call? You know what I mean? Because like all those little things, like everything needed to happen in such perfect order in order for this to get to this point, it's kind of crazy to think about. But one of the things I think about, and I think we might have talked about this a couple years ago, but I always like to bring it up on this day, is like Brian Pillman. I will forever feel like that, outside of like the Undertaker and Sting, right? I think for me anyway, Brian Pillman not having that payoff with Steve Austin for their, Austin's got a gun thing and that whole storyline, because again, like I always think about where that would have gone had Pillman lived, and how that would have become. Like, I feel like Brian probably would have become like potentially as big of a star as Austin if that had all kind of come together, because the two of them, what do you think? I mean, based on you knew them both, and like, what are your thoughts on all that?
shout out to Hal Haney. He's got this great series he's doing called What If.
Mm.
And, he does he's doing these comic book covers of what if scenarios. What if, Sting and Warrior swap places and, Warrior went to NWA and Sting with the WWE, or, what if, there's so many great what ifs. And, sadly, I mean, what if Brian Pillman never had his car accident?
Yeah.
That ultimately was his demise, him dealing with the pain of his accident. So, him and Pillman and Austin probably could have had a great feud because, they had been tag partners. They knew each other well. They knew, when you team with somebody for so long, when you go to wrestle that person, you can almost have like a nonverbal communication with that person, in the ring. And, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking, like, what do you think would have happened if Pillman and Austin, like, do you think Pillman could have been as big of a player in that version of WWE, like in the Attitude Era? Because I mean, me personally, and I might get torched for this, but I don't give a shit. I feel like Brian Pillman could have easily been, in the right circumstances, in the right scenarios. I feel like he could have been a player in that whole scheme of things in the Attitude Era. And I feel like he could have probably been champion material, at least in my opinion. I think if it would have been right with Stone Cold and all the variables running up with the loose cannon gimmick and all that shit, like, I feel like it would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, there was a period of time when, Pillman was the talk of the wrestling business with the loose cannon deal. He worked himself into a shoot with WCW saying, hey, he talked himself into getting released so he could go to WWF. Hey, what if you fire me? And then people think it's a shoot. Like because he did that deal where he went to go wrestle Kevin Sullivan and goes, I respect you, Booker man, and just took off. Or he would just hop the rail and do crazy stuff, and then they, release him and he comes to ECW for a little bit. And I saw some of the loose cannon behavior in ECW where, we'd be at the travel lodge and he would just like freak out in the lobby and people are like, what the fuck, kind of thing. And go to the WWF, loose cannon versus Steve Austin. Again, had Brian not gotten injured and not had that accident, my God, he could have been a top player. Not only because not only could he work, he could talk. And that's the thing. You could be the best wrestler in the business or the best worker in the business. I'd rather be the best worker in the business. But if you can't talk, you got to talk those people into the building.
Yeah.
And Pillman could talk. He had reinvented himself. And the promo battle he could have, him and Steve could have had back and forth. And that would have been money. Yeah. And could he have been world championship material? Why not? If he was like 100% healthy, I'm placating this all on the fact that he never has this accident.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the big indicator, right? Like if that never happens, he gets into a feud. And actually, what's his name? Mass Entity, and just said here too. He said, remember, Pillman had a promo right before the King of the Ring final match and had a brief face-to-face with Austin. So it really seems like that's where they were going to be going. And I think if the 316 thing happens, the accident doesn't happen, right? You talk about your perfect scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Holy shit. That would have been fucking incredible TV. Just fucking incredible shit, man. Oh my God.
And the whole thing with the gun, I never got the whole hubbub about it. They were on the USA Network where you can, watch a hitman show. Well, I don't know. Was La Femme Nikita like a hitman show?
I think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a show, and that's the beauty of people going, oh, wrestling, the fake stuff. Yeah, people called the cops.
Yeah.
People knew where Pillman lived.
Yeah.
His neighbors called the cops. and
they flooded the fucking they flooded the 911 boards when Kevin Nash lawn darted Rey Mysterio into the trailer, and Randy Savage was on top of the limousine. People thought that shit was. I was a kid and I thought that shit was real. I was like, what's happening right now? Like, you know what I mean? Because they sell it so well. You're like, oh my God, this is even with the kayfabe. You're like, or like with the idea of understanding that like these people are just like, characters playing the stories. Like, is this really happening? I had moments recently where I'm like, wow, that selling's really good. Are we sure that's not a shoot? Like, are they not like, they're not shooting each other right now?
Yeah, they could have had a great run. And unfortunately, Brian succumbed to his his injuries and the need to medicate himself because of those injuries. And that was what, Hell in a Cell,
Bad Blood 97.
Yeah, but the night Kane debuted.
Yes.
Horrible. Just what a gut punch.
He was who was he supposed to wrestle that night? Do you remember?
Do not know.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'm sure Mass Sanity will know.
Mass Sanity is going to jump in here right away. I know it.
The fucking professor,
That's right. Yeah, he mentioned that he passed. Yep, and he was supposed to face Mass Sanity. Help me out here, brother. Dude Love. That's who it was. It was Dude Love. And he went live on the air and did it. But Mass Sanity's here says Raw moved from 9 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the night of Pillman with a gun, and Pillman dropped an F-bomb on the air. I do remember that. I do remember reading that.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's crazy, man. Oh, he says, wait, was it GoldDust? It says Pillman versus GoldDust. The stuff I just read here said
because
said
there were Pillman had taken Marlena.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
Dressing in all the sexy lingerie and stuff like that. And okay. Yeah, now it's coming back.
Now it's all clicking again. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
It's all coming back to me now.
Oh, man.
Celine Dion.
Speaking of great gimmicks, man, I'd be remiss not to talk about this. But friend of the show, Danhausen, has a big fucking. He had like I don't want to say controversial, but a split decision on his debut during the chamber, and now the dude is over like Rover, bro.
Well, like I said, he was the victim of expectations.
Yes,
people thought, who's in the box? Is Jericho in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
In the fucking box.
But he was the victim of people's expectations. So did the debuts suck? No, it was just people's expectations that they thought it was going to be somebody else. And excuse me, I'm so happy.
Yeah,
dude, I don't care if he ever has a match. Just do the backstage stuff, do the promos, do the skits. And then eventually he's going to have a match, but it's so weird how different things are when you go to the WWE. Like everything in Danhausen's presentation just looks fresher.
Yes.
Right now. I don't know if he's using a different style of paint. His face is just like a more vibrant white and black. His gear is, a little bit more, a little different. Something's different, and that's a good thing. You got to keep people guessing too. But my goodness, good for him. The whole cursing people, and dude, him and the Miz.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be money.
And then he also was a part of. Also, speaking of big things that happened, friend of the show, Penta, was also. He was in a backstage segment. Danhausen was a backstage segment with Dominic Mysterio in the Judgment Day, and he curses Dominic Mysterio, and Penta wins the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm like, this is exactly how to book this fucking guy.
Yeah,
this is perfection. Let him just do this all the time, forever and ever. Like this, I don't need anything else. This is just fulfilling that bucket. And I'm watching this hit like. It's funny to watch it hit the mainstream too. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching it hit people and they're like, who the hell? I'm not even kidding. when I say this.
What's
I
that?
have gotten at least 35 separate DMs from people sending me the video of Luigi Primo in the ring when they're talking about there was that video that's been going around. 35 separate DMs from people on across social media platforms everywhere about Luigi Primo. And I always have the same response. Luigi Primo. The same response every time.
That's another
love
guy.
this. Yeah.
Dude, I've watched him, work that thing in person, with the, the spinning of the dough and all that stuff. He's an interesting person. Definitely an interesting person, but wrestling, Dusty Rhodes said it, wrestling should be like a buffet, it's something for everybody. And I'm happy Luigi Primo's, getting a little, a little pop, with the mainstream press, it's like actually mainstream people covering Luigi, and dude, some people can't even, properly walk in the ring. He can sling a pizza and run a high spot and
cook the pizza.
I saw somebody took the dough, put it on the turnbuckle, hit the turnbuckle, and he sold the dough getting hit. Fucking brilliant.
So good, dude. It's so good. It's just, again, it's the good shit that comes from fucking just from the stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I think the Danhausen thing too. I love the presentation. I love what they're doing with him. The character's great. I'm waiting for the Pepsi Phil thing to start because I know that's coming at some point, which I just can't fucking wait. But
yeah, fucking, I don't know if this was strictly online or if it made it on there where he walks over to the table with all the Cody Rhodes belts. He's walking around with a blue Sharpie and he walks over and they're like, hey, and the merch guys are going, no. He walks over, he signs a Cody 8x10, puts on a weight belt and just walks off. And the best,
so good, dude.
And me saying it doesn't sound that funny, but the visual, because what you've seen it.
Yeah.
And he's a young dude, but he does like this old man walk.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Actually, you know what? Friend of the show, Heather Riley, compared him to, I'm getting the messages now, or I'm pulling the message up now because she's also someone who's like learning the love of Danhausen. It's like if Grandpa from the Munsters and old school Nosferatu combined their walking habits. And I don't know if there is a better explanation for it than that.
Yeah. Danhausen is like he's a Munsters character.
Yeah. He's like if Conan O'Brien was on the Munsters.
But he's kind of like, he's a Conan O'Brien character, he's a Munsters character, but he's like kind of punk rock too.
Yeah.
Where like I could see him on a punk rock like 45. There used to be this rock and roll shop on South Street called Rock and Roll Plus.
Yep.
Where ECW used to sell their tickets, by the way. And Gabe Sapolsky worked there for a little bit. But you walk in and there'd be like punk rock music on and like little 45s. And I could see Danhausen on like an album, like a 45 cover for some punk rock single or something like that. But good for him.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy reinventing himself,
Yeah.
He was wrestling on the knees. I think his name is Dave Danhausen or something like that.
Dominic Danhausen.
There you go. Thank you. He was ready to call quits.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me just try something different. And it comes with the Danhausen character and motherfucker starts printing money,
Yeah. He's killing it, man.
Dude.
Totally killing it, dude.
I can only look at somebody like a Danhausen and admire him for it because it's so hard to think of something that could get over.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what gets over and how it gets over.
Mm-hmm.
It took this guy who almost wanted to quit wrestling to come up with this character. Oh my God.
Yeah.
God bless him. I love him. And not to kill, not to kill his character, but gotten to talk to him one-on-one. down to earth dude, just cool dude, just fucking great guy. Probably somebody I probably would have went to high school with,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely somebody I would have kicked it with in the lunchroom for sure. Like my kind of guy,
Yeah, there's somebody I used to go to. I can't think of his name. I went to vocational school for graphic arts, and there's a guy I used to go to school with, and we would just clown around. And when I see Danhausen, and I think of this dude, and I'm like, fuck, he reminds me of so and so, but I can't remember the guy's name. But guy was like a little bit of a rocker dude. He turned me on to bands like Pennywise and shit like that. But God, that's a little bit of a sidebar there. But I was just saying, I love that Danhausen. I love that Danhausen, man.
Well, it's funny, man. It's like everybody. It's even before he got to WWE. Like friend of the show, Angel Acevedo, who is responsible for this clip.
Yeah, of course.
So he owns a skateboard company called Terror of Planet X. So like Mike Maldonado, Kerry Getz, all the big, famous Westchester, Delaware skaters skate for him. And he's done like these collaborations over the past couple of years. Like his first big one was with Stan Lee about 10 years ago. Then he did one with Czarface, which is a rap group from New York.
Who mentions me in a song?
No shit.
Yeah, I'm in a Czarface song. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
So he did a collaboration with Danhausen, and it was Danhausen's last like thing before. I totally forgot about that. They did this, and I actually talked to Angel the other day, and trying to get my hands on a board and a t-shirt. But apparently from what Angel said, it was their fastest selling set of stuff was the board and the t-shirt. And it's because people love Danhausen. And he said he was just, again, not to kill his character, but he said that Dominic was just a delight to work with, like just the nicest fucking guy. So
no, he really is. He really is a good, like I said, he's definitely somebody I could have seen myself hanging out with, Oh, the Czarface song is Theory of People Getting Loose.
No shit.
And there's a Blue Meanie reference in it. And not only, did I shout him out, but, I was like, hey, man, it's pretty cool. And, Czarface, replied, with the high five thing.
Let me see. Oh, shit. MF Doom is on this song, dude?
I think it's MF Doom that says my name.
Get the fuck out of here. No way. That's like, dude, just like MF Doom giving you a shout out in a fucking song, dude. That is.
Oh man, I wish I knew what
here it is. Nope. Oh, it's Esoteric. Esoteric is the MC. I can see clear in the dark through the Imperial March, all my materials sharp. That's how I tear them apart. Hoodied up like Jawa, Utini, wrestle like Blue Meanie.
Yeah.
There it is. That's fucking crazy.
I think it's 1:52 in.
So they mention Joaquin Phoenix in this bar, David Harbour. I have to pull this song up later. I want to listen to it. I'll see if I can chop it down for us too. No, that's fucking like, again, Danhausen, everything that they're doing with him right now. And I hope too, because again, next couple weeks I will be in Las Vegas again, hopefully doing WrestleMania media. I am just incredibly hopeful that I see Danhausen there and that he just stays in character the whole time and we do some crazy shit. Like that's my personal.
We got to get him to do a drop for the podcast.
I was literally just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Listen to the Mind of the Meanie or you will be cursed.
Got to get him to, I'm going to, like, I was literally sitting here thinking about that. I'm like, I know that I usually only get like 3 questions when I ask people, but I know for sure one of those questions is going to be about Blue Meanie. Like it has to be. And it's going to be the best fucking shit ever.
Say, can I get a 10-second drop for the Mind of the Meanie podcast? Just say, please listen to Mind of the Meanie or you'll be cursed or something like that.
That's it. Yeah, just something good, man. Just something good for us. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. It's that Paul Heyman gave us the rub. I'm going to cut that one down too and put it on the board here. Blue Meanie sends his regards. Fuck him. Oh, yeah, I'll let him know.
He said it with love. I know he said it.
He had a big smile on his face afterwards when we were done recording.
Every time I see Paul in person, he just looks at me and just starts laughing. Like what's it called?
I'm sorry. Donovan is. I'm sorry. I real quick. I don't mean to jump in. Donovan is his name, not Dominic. For some reason, Dominic was stuck in my head, but it's Donovan Danhausen. My bad.
Familiar syllables.
Yeah.
I stopped by SmackDown in 2015-ish.
Mm.
And I reached out. I was like, because I have friends who work there, and they're like, "Hey, you coming by the show?" I was like, "Well, shit, let me see if I could get permission." So I reached out to talent relations. I was like, "Hey, just want to come by, say hi to some friends. I'm not looking for a job. Blah, blah, blah. As long as you say I'm not looking for a job,
Just want to come in. Yeah.
Sure, come on by." So, I went back for my third round of catering, and I walk in and Paul's sitting there, and I walk over and put my hand on his shoulder. He turns around, looks at me, and just goes, and it's just like, it was a good laugh.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's the best shit ever, man. I love that shit.
One of my favorite, because this is right around the time Stevie was he went to WCW. We're just trying to think of things to do, and I was like, he's like, "Meanie, think of some things you would like to do." And I was like, "Oh, dude," I was like, and me and Paul, probably watched the same TV growing up. I was like, "Remember the Gong Show?" He's like, "Yeah." It's like, what? They had a character, Gene the Dancing Machine. It's like, what if I come out as Meanie the Dancing Machine? And he was like, "Ah!" And he popped, and he never did it, but he popped, So,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of things I recommended he would pop, and just for whatever reason we never got to do it. But Paul was always good for taking recommendations. Even if he didn't use it, you were trying.
Yeah.
And I heard Vince was like that too. He's like, "Just give me something, damn it."
There's Meanie.
Even if it sucks, we could get something out of it.
Blue, get out there and tickle him in the ring. Get up there and get edge and draws right in the ribs.
Meanie, smell this fart. You ever hear the story when
Oh my God, the fact that is it's just the fact that could actually have happened.
I could have. Did you ever hear did you ever hear the rib he tried to pull on Jerry Briscoe?
No.
So Jerry Briscoe notoriously has a weak stomach.
Oh no.
Like, even the hint of something, like he almost threw up doing the Mae Young skit where they're giving birth to the hand.
Really?
But during the gorilla position.
Oh no.
And Briscoe's there, and Vince walks over and he tries to fart in fucking Briscoe's face and ends up shitting his pants. And he's wearing khakis.
No.
And he's set to go to the ring.
No.
Do a promo. So he goes, lets out a fucking, lets out an Irish potato in his pants. Shits himself. The rib backfires. He shits himself, and he has to go out and cut a promo in the ring while wearing khaki pants.
No. Oh my God, dude. That is magnificent, and like a totally an absolute Vince McMahon thing for it to happen.
Yeah, nothing better than somebody shitting themselves.
We got lots of comments here.
Let's not ignore the podcast. We got a lot.
We got a lot going on here. Let me go all the way back up to the top. Thank you so much for being here today. Let me see. Let me go back. I talked to Brian and Melanie Pillman on AOL just minutes after Raw went off. Pillman and Austin were just hanging out, drinking beer on the couch afterwards. At least that's what Melanie said. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe
it. The Bella clones. That was another great skit too with Nikki and Brie Bella with the Bella clones. That shit was fucking phenomenal. I saw Luigi Primo. I'll go get the pizza. Do something at an AEW show in Philly. All he did was spin the pizza the entire time, and he constantly had a crazed look on his face. It was brilliant. Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, this shit doesn't always have to be so. It doesn't always have to be the bloodline, right? It doesn't have to be Roman and Punk. You could get away with a lot of this shit and still have a lot of fun.
Like in ECW, that's what my fucking role was in ECW. They would do something fucking crazy, and you would have to do something to bring the crowd kind of, settle them down.
Yeah.
Not bore them, but just give them something different to entertain them So when the next crazy thing happens, you don't get burnt out, because if you keep hitting people with, trauma, they'll be like, oh, what, you'll fucking burn a crowd out. You got to give them a little bit of something like lighthearted for them to go. And so when the next crazy thing happens, they're like, oh shit, you shock them,
Build
it's
the
just
drama up.
Any
Jesse Brown says, any of y'all see the clip this week of the wrestler with the Johnny Knoxville old man balls where he puts them in the other guy's faces? No, I have not. And please send that to me expeditiously, because I want to see it.
I've seen that.
I got to see that.
Yeah.
Jesse Brown says, I want Danhausen and Truth. And Mass Entity says, Danhausen and R-Truth is definitely being saved for WrestleMania. I would almost guarantee they're going to give Danhausen some crazy spot at WrestleMania. I can't.
Danhausen, R-Truth, and Mr. Iguana.
Yup. Oh, man. Yeah. Just listen, shut up and take my money right now. Like, just fuck, man. That's worth every dollar, every penny I spend.
Pull out 20.
Yeah. Just take it all.
Yeah. Into my garter belt.
I saw someone, Mass Entity says, I saw someone say that the look on Danhausen's face always looks like a baby who is experiencing the world for the first time. Another accurate statement.
Money.
Let me see. Greg Alker, who definitely tried to make out with a mannequin once, said, give Danhausen all the belts, curse everyone, and cause nothing but havoc. I'm into it, dude. Like the Divas Championship, 24/7, hardcore title, the Eurocontinental title. I want it all. Everything.
Yeah.
Anything that was there. Mass Entity says, Danhausen, Brody King, Aleister Black, and Pepsi Phil are all big New York hardcore music fans. I'm into it, man. I'm curious to know if, what do you think? And I know this is just conjecture, but you think Brody King ends up in WWE at some point?
Yeah.
I feel like it. I feel like he has to, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a big fucking, as they say, that he's a hoss.
He's a hoss, brother. Hell yeah.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine Vince McMahon seeing somebody like Brody King? Jesus Meanie, look at this. Look at the size of him. He's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Meanie, you have my word. Could you give me a little bit of English there, a little sauce there for me?
Meanie, you have my word.
Can you hit the button?
Oh.
The salt. Give me some salt.
Just need to a little tighten it up.
The Blue Meanie.
Yes.
Love it, man.
Eventually, I'll find software, which you've already told me to get.
Just send it to me. I'll chop it up for you.
Yeah.
Matthew Elvis Presley is here. He says Power Walk was squishy. Had to have been clenching them fucking cheeks, man. And he says, I'm sure Vince didn't sell it. Oh, wait. I've heard stories that Vince is a fart guy. That shit cracks him up.
He didn't sell the shit in his pants, but just all right.
Time to go. Yep. Pepsi Phil will definitely get
my music.
Pepsi Phil will get Brody into WWE. I think, I've heard the rumor and innuendo is that Pepsi Phil had a lot to do with Danhausen coming in, and I think that could have been the best.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm for it, man. I love it. So,
I love it.
So then we have a wee Punkhausen here too from the good fine folks at WWE 2K26 as well, mascot for the show. But Meanie,
yes,
I'm sitting here, brother, and I'm thinking to myself, well, first things I'm always like, did that fart have a little extra English on it? And then I'm like, I'm always worried about that. Did you see the video I sent you, the reel where it was like, come take a shit with me at the Hilton Head, whatever it was? Oh my God. I was on the floor laughing.
Yeah. I haven't seen that guy's videos for a while.
Oh my God. Oh man. But I'm just thinking about this, for a second. I have maybe a question, a thought, if you will.
What?
It was here and then I lost it. Oh, that's right. Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
And don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie or drop them in the chat here when you join us at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. Tiers start at just $10 American, sir. And Meanie, what you sipping on this morning, good sir?
Probably my ride or die for the next couple of weeks at least. Polar, a black cherry.
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh, black cherry, bang bang.
I have as
Amber Lamps.
Amber Lamps. As per usual, I have my sparkling frost pink grapefruit cheap shit from Aldi. So we want to thank the good folks at Aldi for that. And I hope you're enjoying whatever you're sipping on wherever you're at today. We're going to crack these suckers in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Pinkies up. Cheers, beers, friends. Oh, yeah. That's good shit.
Scratches the itch you can't reach.
That's right. There she is. Yep. All right. Let's see what we got here. Where's my mouse? Is all fucked up here. Here we go. Okay. Matthew Elvis Presley says, tell Meanie. So not ask Meanie, but tell Meanie. In the book Blood and Fire, it says the first documented case of the chic gimmick was 1949 Marion Armory. I live in Marion, and the Armory still stands. Started wrestling there in 1922, and they still have wrestling there.
Tremendous
Information. Tremendous. Thank you for the update on that one, sir. I know we talked about that last week with the chic information, so thank you, sir, for that update.
Absolutely.
Mass Sanity is here, and he says, hey, Meanie, Austin 316, Hulkamania, NWO, other than the BWO, which we know is the most popular shirt of all time, which shirt is the biggest of all time?
Man. Well, I mean, there was different versions of the Hulkamania shirt, but there's always been one solid 316 or NWO.
Mm-hmm.
You know when a shirt's over when it gets fucking bootleg too. So
yeah,
you know, what was the most bootlegged fucking shirt? You know,
I would say DX has probably got to be in there too.
I would have to. I'm about to say NWO.
Yeah, I feel like the NWO shirt was like, it was a cultural statement too.
You know what I mean? Everywhere.
It was a cultural statement back then.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: new people probably saw a shirt said New World Order, not even realizing it was wrestling, and just bought it.
Yeah,
you know, the fucking Bullet Club shirt was one of the top selling shirts of all time, and it was non-wrestling fans who are just gun rights advocates.
Yeah,
who bought the shirts, saying, "Oh, that's a cool shirt, Bullet Club. All right,
I'm into it."
Not knowing it was a wrestling reference, you know, and they just bought the shirt because it looked like a cool design. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say NWO. I feel like it's got to be the bigger one, and also too, you know, again, outside of like we can remove any of the other questionable shit with Hogan, but like, imagine being responsible for two of the biggest selling merchandise things of all time. Like, not it's enough to say one, right? But for two, like that is. I just think about that trajectory, the fact that he was the biggest star in wrestling for two different reasons, you know, and that just blows my mind.
And the story of the woman who designed the NWO logo, she came up with it like within like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. They're like,
it's crazy.
We need this. It needs to look like this, blah, blah, blah. And she whipped it up and that was it.
That's it. The rest, as they say, was history.
Yeah.
Mass Sanity with another question here. The Iceman references inspired this Ask Meanie. What are your favorite mafia movies? Donnie Brasco and Copland are underappreciated.
Yeah, Copland's really good.
Yeah. Stallone put on like 50 pounds for that movie. They said he ate 3 pieces of cheesecake a day.
Tremendous.
Or something crazy like that.
That fucking method. Favorite mafia movie? Probably The Untouchables.
Solid choice.
Fucking great movie, great music. Like the music in that movie is fucking fantastic. But talk about a killer cast. And that movie doesn't get talked about nearly enough. The Untouchables, you know, with De Niro.
Yeah.
You know, and Kevin against, you know, versus Kevin Costner with, you know, a little bit of Sean Connery in there.
Solid cast, man.
Yeah. I might watch that today.
I think.
That's the fucking music.
I feel like I don't know, man, because like part of me wants to say The Godfather, you know, because that feels like the right choice. And I love those movies, right? But I think my favorite mafia movie, and I'm not even sure if it's like, I guess it is considered a mafia movie because the mafia is a part of it, but like A Bronx Tale. That movie is, I mean, favorite movies of all time. I know we talked about it a little bit here, but I finally got to go see Chaz Palminteri's one-man show a couple months ago in Jersey. And in tears. I was like, I have been waiting for this for 20 years, and it was just fun. Like, just what a like a self-reaffirming and like soul filling experience that was. Just tremendous experience.
Yeah.
And I would say that's probably my favorite Mafia movie of all time.
There you go.
So thank you for the question, Mass Entity, as always, sir. Jesse Brown says, two-parter here. Two-farter, two-sharter, if you will. Well, let's give him we'll give him a two-sharter there. Other than yourself, who are some notable people from your class at Al Snow's school, and who had the most potential in his class, but for whatever reason, just didn't make it?
I guess the other notable would be Dan the Beast Severn.
Mm.
I trained with him while he was doing his UFC training too, which is kind of cool. I mean, there was a kid there named Steve Nixon who I thought would have made it. He could have been like a great cruiserweight type. He was a cruiserweight style wrestler. He wasn't huge, but like he can go and he can work. And I worked with him, and like when I was training, like Al kind of had him helping with some of the training too. And he was, helping me with, with my bumps and stuff. And I thought for sure he probably could have made it somewhere, but let me see. Other notables. Yeah, I guess Dan the Beast would be the most notable. And then then Steve Nixon was the guy who probably should have made it, but for some reason, I mean, what's making it either? He had a good run on the Michigan indie scene. Had some great matches. I was fortunate to work with him a couple times too. So that would be my answer.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. And we have one final question here from Nate Smythe at Sheridan Ford Sales. Ask Meanie, what is one place on your words are hard. What is one place to visit that's on your bucket list? Baba Booey.
Yeah, I really want to go to Australia.
Uh-huh.
Australia or Japan?
Yeah.
But I know those are some long fucking flights.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of knocked out, Alaska. I got to do Alaska, and got to do Hawaii. But I would love to do either Japan or Australia. Just, I don't know what my fascination is with it, but just looked like it would be an awesome place to go,
Honestly, those are my answers too. I've long wanted to go to Tokyo just because I want the experience of it, just because it looks so fucking cool to go there. And I like the idea of like the culture shock aspect of it, like I want to be like almost completely out of my element when I go to this place. But Australia too, I mean, I would love to go and see Australia for sure. But yeah, we'll see. Someday we'll end up there, and someday we'll be back here with you, which is next week, to answer more of your Ask Meanie questions. And we appreciate having you here each and every week. And Meanie, we appreciate you answering these for the good, fine folks of our listener base and the pod squad. But Meanie,
oh yeah,
we're at that time, brother. Where can everybody keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, sometimes Threads, at Blue Meanie BWO, wherever you do your social medias. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you'd like to support Mine of the Meanie, go to Mine of the Meanie. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mine of the Meanie. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton over there at MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil or Balm. He rounds up the cats in his neighborhoods, takes them to the vet, and releases them better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to MadCatBeardCare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles very soon. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters created by the amazing Hal Haney, many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. The Figure Collection's Bone Crushing Wrestling Series 1's variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar. You get BWO Blue Meanie or regular Blue Meanie. Either way, there is no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Book through the site. Please don't book through the app. The app takes way too much of your hard-earned money. I did a couple, this week, and had a great time doing them. And I love to see the reactions that come back with the ratings. So go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand pal, so go and find us there. Don't forget to check out my stuff over at Foundation Radio. The archive is there right now at foundationradio.net or at youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod. Don't forget to check out all the work I have going on over at TheSportster at TheSportster.com. My official review for WWE 2K26 is available now. And I want you to go out of your way to make sure you do what I did in that game. And you set up a match between New Jack and Jacob Fatu in a dumpster match on the set of WCW Monday Nitro. It is just as wrestling pipe dream as you could possibly imagine. And I want you to go do it right now because it's fucking fun. But my review is up there. I love the video game. It was absolutely fantastic. So go out of your way and check it out as well. And all of my interviews from the 2K26 Creator Fest are available now with Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, Io Sky, and a bunch of other people. And I also just had a great conversation with AEW Women's Champion Tekla ahead of tonight's AEW Revolution, which is getting a lot of buzz for the comments that she made about Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. So I want you to go out of your way to take a look at that right now. Or you can find it all at thesportster.com. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go ahead and schedule your appointment today with Kane and the rest of the team over there at 10thwardbarbershop.com, prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tiers start at just $10 and go to youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie. And you can see all of our archive going back all the way to the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2022, and the shows that Meanie and I did together in 2021 before we were officially together forever. I want you to go check it out right now. Go and subscribe, hit like and subscribe on all forms of social media and all places that you listen to our show, because any like, any comment, any share just helps people find us more. And we appreciate you. We'd love to be a part of your weekly listening every single week. And if you go down here underneath the two of us, you can see all of our forms of social media, our Mind of the Meanie. We want to thank you again for joining us this week. Meanie, I want to thank you as always, good sir, for being a part of this. And we will see you again, same bat time, same bat channel for the Blue Meanie. I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.